Good afternoon. We'll get started momentarily. Okay, as you all know, that this week we're going to be celebrating Shavuos. Shavuos begins Thursday night, Friday being the first day of Shavuos, and Saturday, the second day of Shavuos. Shavuos commemorates the time when God gave us the Torah, the Ten Commandments, back on Mount Sinai 3,338 years ago, 50 days after the Jewish people left Egypt. From the day the Jewish people left Egypt, they were counting down what we know today is called Sefiras HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. And every day they counted down towards receiving the Torah that they would receive on Mount Sinai. Receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai was considered the final touch, the marriage that the Jewish people had with God, the time when we were chosen as a nation and given the task of making this world a holy place, a special place, and an oasis of godliness. The giving of the Torah also gave us then the commandments which differentiated and segregated us from all the people on the world, telling us that we have a job to be a light unto the nations by following the precepts of the Torah and the mitzvahs. Over here, we find an interesting episode. Part of the customs that we have on Shavuos is that Thursday night, the night before Shavuos, the night of Shavuos, I should say, it is a custom that we are up all night until morning studying the Torah. Traditionally, the reason given was because the Jewish people slept in on the night that God gave them the Ten Commandments, to be able to reconcile and to forgive for what they have done, we then stay up all night and study Torah to remember what they've done. And over here comes the obvious questions. And the questions are, number one, we know that the Jewish people were anticipating the giving of the Torah for so many months, and for so many days, every single day counting down towards the giving of the Torah. How is it possible that they should all of a sudden, the night before the Torah is given to them, go to sleep? Not only go to sleep, but sleep in. And in the words of the Talmud, the sleep that they had on Shavuos night was so sweet that even the mosquitoes didn't bite them. How is it? Doesn't make sense that you're counting down for something for 50 days. Every single day you're looking and anticipating for it. And all of a sudden comes the day that you have to get it. You're nowhere to be found. You sleep in. It sounds anticlimactic. It doesn't sound like something the Jewish people would do or any person would do if you were anticipating something exciting. If you're excited about something, then you look forward towards it. Why was it and how is it possible that the Jewish people should be able to go into such a deep sleep, not wake up in the morning and not be so anticipating for the giving of the Torah, to the extent that today we still have to study Torah every single year on the first night of Shavuos to reconcile for what they've done wrong? And over here, Hasidic terminology explanation comes in and says as follows, and explains that the reason of what actually happened at the den, when we talk about sleep, sleep is not necessarily a figurative concept of what the Jewish people did at the time. They went to sleep and it's carelessness. The fact that they slept in wasn't something that all of a sudden they couldn't care about the giving of the Torah and therefore they slept in. But it actually over here is coming to tell us something on the contrary. Sleep is a state where the soul goes on high. Sleep is a time and is a state. Sleep is something which caused the Jewish people at that time, or any person, is where a person's soul goes on high and connects to something greater and to something that they've never achieved in the past. Meaning that when a person goes to sleep at night, it's when their soul reconnects with God. And that's why every morning we wake up and we say, Moida ani lefanecha, thank you, God, for returning my soul. A sleep is a time where we can achieve, and that's why when we sleep, we dream about things, dreaming about impossible, so to speak. You're dreaming about the elephant fitting into the eye of the needle, something which doesn't seem logical or realistic. It is because a time when your soul experiences a certain level of spirituality that cannot be materialized. When the Jewish people were every single day anticipating for the level of holiness of receiving the Ten Commandments, it was such a level of spirituality that they were so excited to attain that every single day they achieved and purified and sanctified themselves better and better, holier and holier, to the extent that 3 days before Mount Sinai, before the Torah was given, they had to go and they had to purify themselves. They couldn't come next to their wives and whatever it may be. They had to stay holy, separate, only involved in absolute spirituality. From that, the Jewish people induced that what should they do? Being that they had to be absolutely spiritual, what was the way that the human being can be in the absolute conscious spirituality? Is sleep. And therefore they went to sleep purposely, hoping to achieve an absolute spirituality, which is a subconscious. Because in the conscious being, in the physical self of them being awake, they still had a physical need. But when they were sleeping, they would be able to reach a highest level of spirituality. Over here, the Torah tells us, this is why they went to sleep, and the Medrash explains mosquitoes didn't bite them. Their sleep was so sweet. It was so sweet because nothing of the physical world was able to stop their sleep. They were so enthused by the spirituality. They were so cultivated by their soul and wishing to experience an absolute soulful experience, which was the giving of the Torah, the Ten Commandments. If it was so great and so special, what they've done, then why do we have to reconcile it by staying up all night? What did they do wrong? It seems great. But here's the problem. The point of the Torah being given is to fuse the physical and spiritual. The point of the Torah being given, it's not to live in the subconscious, not to live in a dream. It's to live in reality. The point of the Torah is to take the teachings of the Torah, to take the precepts of the Torah, and bring it into our material and physical life, to change the world that we're in, the physical world. Once we have the ability to change the physical world, then we know we've accomplished the task of why the Torah was given to us, the Jewish people. To have the Torah in our sleep and a dream and a soulful experience, that the angels could have had the Torah for. But God said, I'm giving the Torah not to angels, I'm giving it to souls, to people who have challenges, who have disagreements, who have issues. Because the Torah is there to be able to help them get through those issues, to help them get through those challenges, to bring the physical and spiritual together, to get them through their day-to-day activities so they should be able to overcome the difficulties of life. In the words of the Talmud, God gave us an evil inclination, but he gave us the Torah as the antidote of the evil inclination. When we study Torah, we arm ourselves so we can stand up against the evil inclination. When we have the teachings of the Torah, it helps us stand up against the evils of the world, the society that may try to influence us to do other than what the Torah teaches us. When we have the Torah, as we learned in Ethics of Our Fathers last week, the only free human being is one who studies Torah. Torah gives us true freedom experience because Torah allows us to experience something which is untampered and untouchable. Because Torah gives us that freedom. Torah gives us that exaltness. Torah gives us that oomph that we should be able to overcome the challenges around us. This is why we are up all night, the night before Shavuos, giving us the ability to delve into the teachings of the Torah, to merge the dream with the awake, the conscious and the subconscious, the physical and the spiritual. The ultimate objective of the Torah was to make this world, this physical, materialistic, low world, to make it a beacon of light, an oasis of spirituality, a place where God can call home. As we prepare for Shavuos, this is our task, getting ready to make this world a beautiful place, a home for God. Thank you for listening. Tomorrow will be a little different time. Tomorrow for Lunch Break with the Rabbi, we'll keep you posted. And tomorrow night, there is Cooking with Rachel and 7 other shluchos around Long Island. All information you can find on Zoom, and we will send out an email so you have that information. And on Facebook, we posted all that information. All the best. Have a wonderful day and a happy Shavuos. We'll keep you posted. Anybody have any questions or comments, feel free to put it in the comments. Don't forget, you can also watch this class on Zoom and on YouTube. So enjoy for the recording if you missed the beginning of the class. Sure, if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the comments. Any questions? Okay, well, take care. Have a wonderful day. All the best.